and welcome from Indonesia. I'm Alec Hutchin from the Lean Institute of Indonesia, and I'm hosting the session. I have the great pleasure of introducing Bu Andira from President University and Mr. Mark Wright from the Lean Institute.
Hello.
Right, so the session today is really a discussion around building future leaders. So we need to share. Yep. This one.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So our session is really about developing the Indonesian leaders of the future. So just as a little bit background, for some people who are perhaps not so familiar with Indonesia as a country, it's an archipelago comprising of over 17,000 islands, 1,300 different ethnic groups, over 700 languages or dialects. However, it has one national language, which is Bahasa Indonesia. Yes. So please correct me if I'm wrong, Bu Andira. It has a population, depending on the statistics, of around 280 million people. One of the unique things about Indonesia is that population is a very young, dynamic demographic. Again, the average age, depending on various reports, is somewhere between 27 and 32 years of age is the average demographic. From a GDP, from an economic perspective, Indonesia ranks around number 16 in the world. However, one of the challenges, if we look on a per capita basis, it's ranking only about 114th. So there is a challenge of how do we create more value-adding work and more value-adding for the people of Indonesia. But one of the proud slogans of Indonesia is, despite all of this diversity, is the unity as a country, which is something that is amazing, something to be very proud of. So why is Lean potentially something that might help? So I think the government of Indonesia has set forward a strategic policy for the year 2045, where there are 10 strategic initiatives. One of these initiatives in particular is about moving into more downstream processing and value adding, where traditionally Indonesia has been a primary producer of oil and gas, minerals. Mm-hmm. But the government has a very clear strategy to move into downstream processing, to add more value and create more jobs for that young population. And I guess one of the things that we see is Lean is a powerful way of helping the government achieve that. And we say that requires a process of working together with people like yourself when we talk about future leaders, about how do we learn, how do we collaborate, mm-hmm. and how do we contribute to helping society. One of the things, just for everyone to know, is in parallel to the Lean Global Conference, the Lean Institute of Indonesia has been working closely with President University this week. So we're very fortunate. As part of the Lean Global Network, we've had a lot of support from other member organizations of the Lean Global Network. And we put together with yourself and your fantastic organizing committee from the students, the 1 week program of Lean Goes to Campus. Yes. This started on Monday with an exhibition and some demonstrations and games to expose the students to Lean thinking.
And they are very enthusiastic.
Yes, the feedback we've got is very enthusiastic, and I think one of the things is if we can just see a little video of it.
state of mind.
LGTC 2024.
Maximize your knowledge, minimize your efforts.
So I think that was an excellent little snapshot of what's been happening all week on campus. I mean, how have you found, Andira, from the feedback from the students?
Okay, so they are very enthusiastic because in these activities, there are so many students join with the activities and come from several majors. It's not only one majors, yeah. So maybe many majors from the social science and from the engineering. So I think it's a good beginning, right?
Right. Okay, excellent. So what we'd now like to do is just have a little discussion, and we're fortunate this week that we also have Mr. Mark Wright, who's one of the leading lean practitioners. And I think one of the challenges we see for Indonesia is how do we build future leaders, lean thinking leaders, and so we talked a little bit about the government program. I mean, how do you see that from your perspective, from the education world, in terms of the challenges and opportunities for young Indonesian students as they graduate and move into the workforce?
Yes, from my insight, right, it's a challenges and at the same time the big opportunity for the young people. Why? Because we are faced a global competitiveness. So young people, they have to adapt the activities, how to make their activities, all things should be effective and efficient. So it's the most important one.
Right, excellent. And so I think what you're seeing is really around for the government's vision to be successful. It's we can set up policies to move into downstream, but unless companies can be competitive through your efficiency and effectiveness, then that would be a challenge if we don't have that to realize.
Because especially in our region or area, so there are so many multinational companies. So the challenging is how to run their process, become more efficient and effective.
And so can you perhaps explain a little bit from present university and the campus on how do you see, what activities are you doing at the university to help support the achievement of that government initiative?
Okay, so we do the collaborations. We start with the collaboration with the industries, and then small enterprises. And then for the industries, we send our student going to the industries, do internship, and then they will do, we give them responsibility to having a contributions, do improvement, and automatically they will adopt the lean thinking. So it's very important. So it can give us feedback. We know that the latest condition in the company, so we can refresh our knowledge from the university. And then the other one, because we are in the region, it's far from the capital, right? It's not too near to the capital. And there are so many small enterprises. And we know that the most important or the big problem is how to increase their productivity through efficiency and effectiveness. So we collaborate with both of. And in our curriculum, we try to integrate this lean thinking into our curriculum. So my university, it's a mandatory one to give them case, and then they have to apply the method, any kinds of the method, but should use that lean thinking. So our mottos in every subject is, if you can produce less, why did you produce more? For example, like produce one product. If you can make it one product with less numbers of parts, why did you produce with more numbers? If more numbers, it means it takes time to assemble it, and it needs more materials. If you can do something with less movement, why do you have to do with more movement? So it can be cut the time in very efficient. So
I'm not sure, Mark, from your perspective, in terms of, you've obviously been advising companies and doing a lot of learning yourself over your career. In terms of the challenges that you see, having only been, this is your second visit to Indonesia, so it's not as an Indonesian expert, but do you have any advice or tips that you might be able to share with Andira?
Well, I don't know about advice or tips, but it's very exciting to hear an academic speak so fluently about how lean can help organizations. Because I've devoted most of my career to this, and I've seen people's lives change significantly in many different industries. But I think that I often, at least I'm from the US, and I see that there could be more effort put in from the academic side, so that people that are coming into industry are more fluent and understand more about how to make jobs better. And so that's really exciting to actually sit here and have this conversation. The other thing I think, the other point to make is that it's pretty exciting also to hear about what you introduced, Alec, in terms of the Indonesian vision. Because lean, I see it successful in organization where there's top-down and bottom-up philosophy. And that means there has to be some direction or vision from the leadership of the organization. But you also need effort from the bottom up to help realize that vision. And if the young people in Indonesia can see that the kind of what they're learning from you, and this type of I would say education they're getting that helps contribute to an organization, connects to some higher purpose that the organization is, the country is speaking to, that's pretty exciting. I don't hear a lot of, I've gotten a chance to go to a lot of places in my career in countries, but I think that's a fairly unique vision I've heard. So thanks.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we hope from working together with the Lean Institute and building future leaders, I think from a lot of organizations, in Indonesia, it's quite unique because of the young population. And the idea is, can we get young leaders already in lean thinking, where in perhaps some other countries, a lot of the work is actually rework. We're having to re-educate people on lean thinking, where it's really fantastic if we can do it from the start rather than have to go through a process of rework. I think that's a very fantastic point. You mentioned earlier, Andira, when we were talking about the students and the displays in the lobby, that there was a lot of interest beyond industrial engineering.
of course, I think it's a big opportunity to involve others majors, because I think lean thinking is not only for the engineering, right? It is very close related with others like social science, medical or medicine department, So I think it's very good. It's a good beginning. So I'm happy to hear about this Mr. Alec here, more come to my campus. So I think we can start together, because as we know that maybe the conventional people, they apply this lean thinking, but they don't know it's a big principles, and they can apply it in any kinds of the activities.
I think if you start, to your point about it applying everywhere, if you start from the premise that jobs are hard everywhere, wherever you are, in the restaurant industry, healthcare industry, construction industry, jobs are not so great. And so if the premise is we can make jobs better,
Become better.
through making people more productive, taking out waste,
Improve their method.
yes, I think that's a great premise great premise for mankind and womankind.
Yeah. And as part of this event that's been going on all week, as I said, the climax tomorrow is
Yes.
we will have Mark come and speak to
President University.
President University, and I think we've got 200 plus
200
participants,
participants.
not just from industrial engineering.
No.
I understand you have
All major.
all majors, and I believe the
And some
committee,
lectures.
yes, lecturers. I think the committee were also talking about actually inviting some of the local school or local
Locals industries. around
local
it.
industries as well. So it's going to be a really we think it's going to be a really fun event, and hopefully, I think if we see the enthusiasm building through the week, I think Mark's going to have some fun as well. I think it's
Yeah.
So I
These
think
things are always fun.
I think from us at Lean Institute Indonesia, we're really happy to have the opportunity to work together with President University. As we see, you mentioned you're uniquely positioned, that you're not
Let's see,
in
in
the middle of the city. You're
national industry.
you're servicing a lot of local industry, multinational manufacturing around where the campus is. And we just see this is a fantastic opportunity to develop the leaders and help them to add value to their future organizations and the future of work. So I think, I don't know whether any points you would like to add, Mark, or about the session that you tomorrow, or your little time in Indonesia.
No, I mean, it's exciting to be in a, you know, I think it's exciting to be in a country where the population is so young, and you can look forward to like a lot of opportunity for people in your country to grow, to become, to learn this way of thinking, which will help the country overall. You know, many Western countries now are struggling with population like leveling off or declining, and so it's exciting time of it's really exciting time for Indonesia, I think, and it's I feel very grateful I've had a chance to come and work here and see your learning grow. It's great.
And from
We
yourself,
can't wait for tomorrow.
No, well,
I'm sure it's
Okay.
going to be a fun
it'll
time.
be fun. We have to make it fun.
Any final points you would like to share? Or
After 1 week, the long activities.
yes, it's been good, and to us, it's not just this week.
Yeah.
We hope to see that we can have a learning partnership that continues going forward,
Yeah.
and I'm sure we'll have
course.
many more events.
We can do many things.
Any questions or any Q&A? Okay. Well, if we're just keeping an eye to see whether there's any questions coming through from the audience, but while we're waiting for anything on that side, I guess, you know, one of the things tomorrow is going to be interesting to see whether we have lecturers from other faculties.
Oh, other majors.
Yes, so that's going to be interesting to see their enthusiasm as well, not just the students. And I think, you know, as we've seen from other parts of the world, the application of lean
It's only
thinking.
time to introduce it.
Yes,
Maybe from other lecturers from other department. It's a new one for them,
Mm,
I guess.
mm.
But they are very interesting because in the exhibition too, there are some lecturers come and ask many things. Yeah, so it's very good.
Mm.
So our exhibition attract them to come to our booth and asking many things. And they text me individually, and they said that you want to join, so you can join. I think you don't need to register anything, so you can join us. So tomorrow we wait for them.
yeah, and I think in the exhibition, in the booth, what we had set up in the video, you could see there was lots of information and lots of barcodes, and
Yep.
again, from LGN. We had support from many of the institutes
Mm.
where they've provided materials,
So,
free training courses for some of the students to expand their knowledge even more beyond the week that we've had. So I think that's really fantastic. And
So I have a question.
yes,
Why are all these people so interested in lean?
I think maybe because they come to the booth and read many things on the booth, and then because one lecturers come to me, oh, this is the new things. So they mention a new things, and I guess before it is not belong to that one. So they asked me where will we conducted that seminar. They call it seminar, right? So could we come there? So I think we can come there. And I think at that booth or the exhibition, the activities is very interactive.
Mm.
So many students come there and playing games and so on,
Mm.
and all are based on lean thinking. So after they play the games, they know that, oh yeah, it's so like that. So how to make a circle and you can get many numbers or in one times only. So I think it's a simple one, but it is a basic of lean thinking, right?
Mm.
So it's very interesting.
It's exciting.
yeah, then certainly we didn't see it in the video, but I've seen some of the pictures of some of the feedback, the post-its that
Yeah,
the students put. I'm not sure whether you might actually help me translate, because one of the comments that really was pleasing for me was
Very useful.
very useful, but
impressive.
was
Yeah.
wow, Karen.
Yeah,
It was like,
Korean is, oh, it's cool.
it's cool, yeah. So it was really pleasing to see the students as
So
saying,
the rector come to that booth, right?
yeah, that's right. Even the
So
rector.
our rector is very young.
Yeah. So it was, to me, it was just amazing to see that, you know, the young people are seeing that this lean thinking, it's not just applying tools, but a process of thinking
Yes.
is something that's, they all put comments about how they can use it, how they would apply it. And
They come with it. They know now, oh, it's a new one and you can apply it in daily life, daily activities. So maybe before they think, okay, this one is the academic terminologies.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but now they know that we can apply it anytime, anywhere. So
I think that's part of the learning with the lean transformation framework is that it's very situational. So you
Mhm.
can look at a problem.
yeah.
It could be a very complex organization-wide problem, or it can be a very
systematic one or the
specific.
simple one, you
Yeah.
can apply it.
And I think that's some of the feedback that we saw from the comments from the students. I think, I mean, I'm not sure, Mark, on your experience with the lean transformation framework and the situational approach.
Well, I think I think that framework is best understood through, like we did in our workshop we had the last couple of days, through explanation of case studies. Because the 5 questions themselves can seem a little bit esoteric, but I think when you see the application of and understand the like how you can apply and answer the question of what's the problem you're trying to solve in any given scenario at the company level down to like an individual job, I think that you can it helps you get your head around what the meaning of that is. So in the workshop we did the last couple of days, we explained case study, for example, of what happened at Starbucks. It was a big corporate problem. And we went down to a individual level of how an individual operator can have a problem and how to resolve that problem.
Yeah, and
It's fractal in that sense.
And I think that's been a lot of the learning from the workshop that we've seen, and even the workshop that Mark's been here conducting a public workshop. And I think that was a lot of the feedback we saw there as well, was you know, this is not an industrial engineering product. This is a way of thinking to solve problems, irrespective of the industry. So I think that's been excellent. So let me see if we have any. Yeah, fine. Okay, no. Okay, so we have 5 minutes to wrap things up. Are there any sort of closing messages or things that you would like support you think would be good that from ourselves at Lean Institute Indonesia or?
Oh, no, so I think I'm a happiest person when I know that there is a Lean Institute in Indonesia. So because yeah, based on my experience, yeah, actually our surrounding like industries, small enterprises, they need supporting from us. So we have to support it. We can work together and support them. So,
What about yourself, Mark? Your second trip to Indonesia, it's only been a week.
Well, you know, I'm gradually starting to like Indonesia. So this is, I may keep coming back, Alec. You may, I'm, yeah, I've been doing this a while and it's kind of a mission for me. And so it's exciting to see countries, organizations, academic institutions that adopt this thinking and help it could, because I believe it helps me make people's lives better. And so that's a great thing.
You'll be pleased to know, Andira, we've actually been teaching Mark to do. So Mark has learned 3 new Indonesian words. Satu, dua, tiga.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
But I think
It's a start.
yeah. So I think from the Lean Institute Indonesia, we look forward to working together because we all want to eliminate rework. So let's build those future leaders already with a strong and powerful Lean mindset.
Yep.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And that would certainly help Indonesia progress forward to Indonesia mass, the golden age of Indonesia. Yeah, that'd be excellent. Okay. So
Thank you for having us.
No questions. Thank you. Oh, sorry, we have one question. Okay. So we have one question, which is, what else do you think we can do to engage students more in learning about Lean?
okay, so maybe starting with the case study. Yeah, so it's not difficult for us in Indonesia to find this case study because we are like Alex said that there are many small enterprises, there are many companies that still run their process in inefficient and effective one. So collaborate with them and then send your student there and then do the very close communication with the people inside of the companies or industries. It can be services, it can be manufacturing, so forth can be applied of the thinking. So I think it's collaborations. Yeah.
And I think this is from an LGN perspective and from an institute perspective. I mean, one of the things we're very, very interested in is co-learning. So how your students can go out to the field, do internship, bring back some real case studies, and we can help support them in doing that. That would be excellent to provide more and more case studies.
Case study by internship. And then some of them, it's not only depend on the internship, but I ask them going around university or reading from the newspaper about, there are so many traditional activities of Indonesia, right? So they take a look into the very conventional production and then anything, do you think this one is efficient or not? So if it is not, please design a new tools for them and make it faster and easier. So everything is make it faster and easier. How do people become faster and easier?
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
to be faster and easier and on time, I think
Right.
we thank you very much, Andira.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
and
Thanks.
thank you, Mark.
Nice to meet you.